It's been several days since the Korea event, and it's shocking how some people seem to have completely lost track of reality. Every comment, every absurd theory, and every attempt to drag Taekook into confusion and lies only proves how little they understand the bond they share. And the most ridiculous thing of all is that Jungkook wasn't even there. On the other hand, Taehyung has been linked to anyone lucky enough to cross his path. He's paired with everyone, except the one he truly belongs with, Jungkook, his true love. It's painful to watch them distort something so pure, just because they can't accept the obvious. Sometimes I feel like I can understand why Jungkook chose to recommend that song, I Can't Breathe. There's something in those words that seems to speak for them, for the weight they carry, for the constant pressure of having to hide a love that screams in every glance. And meanwhile, here we are, watching, feeling helpless and angry at the unfair noise that surrounds them. I wish all those clowns would just leave them alone once and for all. Because it's not Taekook's fault that he loves so truly, nor that love is so strong that it bothers those who will never understand it. It's not their fault that they are two souls who found each other and recognized each other in the midst of chaos. But of course, when love is true, there are those who prefer to deny it rather than admit that there is something they will never feel. It's not Taekook's fault that he is surrounded by people who sincerely appreciate and support him. There is a huge difference between friendship and love, even if many can't see it. What Taehyung and Jungkook have transcends labels, goes beyond appearances. It's something you can sense in the way they look at each other, in how their gestures seem to speak a language only they understand. And then comes that moment with Bodi. Sending Taehyung with one of Jungkook's closest friends was almost a provocation to those who seek to confuse him. But what happened there was so beautiful, it only reaffirmed the truth that many don't want to see. Taehyung smiled with his characteristic sweetness, and his hug was warm, very sincere. There was no romance, only affection, respect, and friendship. And yet, to the eyes of fools, everything was distorted. Bodi, with her innocent reaction, did something few noticed, the K-sign gesture and the bunny ears. It was as if she were saying wordlessly, "Here is the truth, but you're still blind." And while the noise feeds on rumors, the simplest gestures reveal what truly matters. What many don't understand is that the connection between Taehyung is made up of those details, of the silences that speak louder than 1,000 headlines, of the glances that sustain the entire universe. Sometimes I think karma will take care of everything. Because true love doesn't need to defend itself, time does that for it. And I know with every fiber of my being that Taekook's karma will come to put everyone in their place. For those who slander them, he will hit them with reality. For those who doubt, he will teach them what faithfulness means. And for those who believe, he will remind us that everything that is genuine remains, no matter what happens. Linking Taehyung to everyone who crosses his path, regardless of whether they're male or female, and trying to make him straight when this man has been completely in love with Jungkook from the beginning is the most absurd thing in the world. Taekook has always been clear, loud, and obvious, they're gay and deeply in love. Denying that truth is like looking at the sun and trying to cover its brilliance with a leaf. You can close your eyes to avoid being hurt by the light, but the sun will still be there, shining beyond any attempt to deny it. The same goes for Taekook. No matter how much some jokers or detractors try to deny their love, they will never be able to hide what is so obvious, what springs directly from them, that they are two men who love each other, and they do so with an intensity that transcends the screen and the stage. Every unspoken word between them carries a weight that can be felt even from a distance. It's the kind of connection that can't be manufactured, the kind that only appears when two souls recognize each other without needing to speak. And yet, there are those who insist on ignoring it, dressing up the truth with excuses, pretending that what we see isn't real. Trying to hide the obvious is not only useless, it's almost cruel, because Taehyung represents something bigger than a simple relationship. he represents the courage to be yourself amidst doubt and pressure. They don't need to say it, because their language is the gesture, the look, the vibration that lingers in the air when they're together. One of my favorite moments, the one I'll always remember as my own Roman Empire, was when Taehyung kissed Jungkook's neck. That scene is living proof of what many don't dare accept. It wasn't a casual act or an improvised joke, it was pure instinct, pure desire, pure truth. It's not something a straight man would do with his friend in front of thousands of people. It was Taehyung being brave, defying the norm, risking the comfort of safety to follow what his heart was telling him at that moment. And he did it with the trembling calm of someone who knows they're doing something important. The way he closed his eyes, the way he brought his lips to Jungkook's neck, wasn't just a physical gesture, it was a silent confession. In that second, everything stopped. The crowd faded, the noise disappeared, and only the two of them remained, vibrating at a frequency only they knew. Taehyung kissed him, and the world held its breath. His movement was gentle, almost reverent, but at the same time charged with an electric tension that made the skin of everyone who saw it crawl. That kiss was a universe compressed into a single instant, a small act that said more than any declaration. And then, Jungkook. Jungkook reacted as only someone deeply affected can. That shy, nervous smile he could barely hold. The way his skin shuddered at the touch, the slight trembling in his hands, the bated breath. He was an adorable mess, a whirlwind of emotions he tried to contain on camera, but the body doesn't know how to lie. His skin betrayed him, his eyes said it all. That small gesture, that touch, left him completely disarmed. And therein lies the truth that no one can hide, body language never lies. You can rehearse words, you can construct speeches or put on masks in front of an audience, but the body always reveals what the soul feels. In the last image, in the last slide of that moment, you can see how Jungkook's body responds to Taehyung's touch. There is no doubt, no room for interpretation. It is a visceral reaction, pure, impossible to fake. It is the silent proof of a love that needs no explanation. Trying to deny that connection is as absurd as trying to stop the sunrise with your hands. You can close your eyes, you can look away, but the glow will remain, stronger each time, reminding you that love, when it's true, doesn't hide, doesn't apologize, doesn't ask for permission. It simply exists. And Taehyung exists. They are the most sincere reflection of what it means to love without fear, without labels, without the need for explanation. Because in the end, when the heart recognizes its truth, there is no force in the world that can silence it. The way Taehyung and Jungkook behave when they're around each other needs no explanation. They don't seek attention with words, their small, almost invisible actions reveal a deep connection, so deep that even the air around them seems to change when they're together. Every gesture, no matter how insignificant, is charged with a language only they understand, a language expressed through their hands, their glances, and their sighs. It's not that there's a conscious effort to do anything different, they simply do it because it couldn't be any other way. When they find themselves next to each other, the space they share becomes a silent refuge, where the barriers of the outside world disappear. They don't just stand close. They touch without hesitation, as if it were the most natural thing in the world, as if their bodies already knew they were made to be together. Their gazes meet with a certainty that needs no words, there's no doubt, no hesitation, only the certainty that they're in the right place, at the right time. The way they approach each other has nothing to do with the norms that govern everyday interactions. It seems as if the surroundings don't exist, that time stands still, that all that matters is that invisible but unbreakable bond that unites them. It's more than just a habit, it's a way of being, a way of life, that they've adopted over time and that no longer needs to be explained. It's so genuine, so true, that the idea of trying to pigeonhole it into an external category becomes absurd, even ridiculous. trying to link Taehyung to anyone who crosses his path, regardless of whether they're male or female, and trying to fit him into a preconceived idea of heterosexuality is completely illogical when, from the beginning, he's been completely in love with Jungkook. This love has always been clear, strong, and evident, and denying it is like looking at the sun and trying to cover its brilliance with a leaf. You can close your eyes to avoid being hurt by the light, but the sun is still there, shining with a force that cannot be hidden. The same is true for Taekook. In their relationship, what always draws attention isn't the words they might exchange, but what they do without thinking. Those silent gestures, those fleeting touches, those glances laden with secret meanings, these are what truly count. When they're close, everything about them changes. The air vibrates with the electricity of their shared presence, the tension is effortlessly felt. They touch without fear, as if there were no barrier, no distance, no difference between them. They approach without thinking, without hesitation, as if they've known each other forever, as if their bodies already knew the way. The naturalness with which they look at each other needs no justification, their eyes speak a language that requires no translation. It's not something that happens once and is then forgotten, it's a constant behavior, a way of being that is repeated over and over again, like a habit that has grown over time. They become so inseparable that their relationship is no longer measured by what they say, but by what they do. And that, precisely, is what prevents many from seeing it as a mere game, a facade. Because the gestures they share, those small details of complicity, are too sincere, too genuine, to be part of a show.